You know what I love? I love it shows, that the school districts, it's not like, well, you're 19, we're done with you. No, 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 they keep helping. That's great to see. So glad to see that at Belton ISD. All right, let's talk about your weather. 85 out there. That's what we hit today. And that's kind of nice because most of this week we've been right around here, right around the record high for today, which was 94. We finally got a couple of degrees off because of the cloud cover. And I have even better news for you is that cloud cover is starting to move out, and that's going to help us cool down tonight. Some of us already into the 60s. Waco at 65, 68 right now in Gatesville. 77 still holding on to a little more warmth down there in College Station. You can see with that southeasterly flow, probably a little more humidity down in the Brazos Valley as well. So this is what I was just talking about. Cloud cover is on its way out. That's good because that'll allow us to cool off overnight. I've mentioned this a couple of times today and I keep going back to it is if you really want cool weather, here's what you need. You need cloud cover during the day, and then you need for it to go away at night. And that's exactly what we saw today, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. So that's going to help. One thing that might keep us from cooling down as much as we could, again, is going to be that southeast wind bringing in just a little bit more humidity. So what was kind of the driving factor behind the cloud cover today? Well, that high pressure ridge that's been dominating our weather has moved a little further off to the east. That allowed a little disturbance to move in off the Gulf. Didn't bring us any rain. However, it did bring us that cloud cover that kept us a little bit cooler today. And if you like that, I've got more of those numbers in the forecast, but we're going to have to get through tomorrow first, and we're talking about a return to the 90s for tomorrow. What I'm going to show you now, though, and we're going to talk about the weekend here kind of at length because that's the cold front that we've been talking about, and there's a lot of details here still to iron out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two different solutions as to what we could be seeing on Saturday. A lot of it's very similar, but there's a couple of things, very specific things that are very different I want to talk about. First, there's your Friday evening. Okay, if you're heading to the Brazos Valley for some football games, I think we're going to stay dry by the time we get to 7 o'clock, but there's a chance here that we could see some afternoon showers move in off the Gulf on that sea breeze that we always talk about this time of year. And so with that in mind, between the hours of about 4 and 6, we could see just a little bit of shower activity down in the Brazos Valley. Again, I think it's done by the time we get to football games. Here we go Saturday. Cold front starts to move in a little bit earlier in the day, here 10:30, moving into our northwestern counties. Doesn't look like it's going to cross I-35 until the afternoon evening, though. Here we are 5 o'clock. Again, picking up some cloud cover, but this particular model is not picking up on much in the way of rainfall. In fact, as we look here, very isolated, very light activity for your Saturday evening before everything's gone through the overnight hours on Sunday. That's model number one. I'm going to show you model number two. This is why we're kind of still up in the air with some of these details. Is this one's going to bring the cold front through about the same time, 4 or 5 o'clock, but notice what happens. This model has it picking up on a little bit extra moisture. That leads to more widespread shower activity, maybe even some thunderstorms built in there. So again, that's why we're going with about a 30% chance for rain here, because it's still a little bit up in the air. We'll have a better picture tomorrow, but understand that cold front's probably going to come through in the late afternoon, early evening time frame, bringing with it at least the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Right now we're going to go with a 30% chance just because of that uncertainty, but understand it is there. The good news though is we drop from the 90s to the 80s, we warm up a little bit on Monday, and then another front has us back in the lower 80s by midweek. And remember, to keep up with all this, it's going to change a little bit more before it's all said and done. You can download our 6 Plus app for free on your smart TV.